Hey guys, welcome to Shubro the Geek. I am your host Shubro. Welcome to day 7, the last day of Learn Python free, fast, and professionally. So, today we'll be learning the last part of Python, the inheritance and polymorphism. After that, you'll be coding in Python like a professional Python programmer if you followed each and every day properly. So guys, without further ado, let's jump onto VS Code and I'll talk about everything like any progress, anything at the end of the video. So for now, let's jump onto VS Code. I am your host Shubro. You are watching Shubro the Geek. Let's start the Learn Python in 7 days, the basic course, the end day course, day 7 course now. Shall we? So guys, we are back to VS Code. So today I have written for 13 files over here. Okay, 13 files are there. So I have made each and everything in a different file. So inheritance is a folder and polymorphism is another folder, and in inheritance you have some files with one diagram, and in polymorphism you have all the files with one diagram. So I'll be explaining each and everything. So guys, if you want to follow with me, the codes are given down below in the GitHub link, the GitHub page. So you can download it from there and follow along. When you are downloading from the GitHub page, my social media handles are also given there. Please follow me on my social media handles so that you get any personal help which you require are always there, and comments. So guys, I will again request you to please subscribe to my channel. Please share it with your friends. Please like my videos. And if you are new, please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the bell notification icon beside it so that you get notified each and every time I post a new video. Please share it with your friends as much as you can. And that's all. So I'm very happy that you will be learning. You have learned so much. That's a semester of course. For basic Python, I have taught you in 6 days, and in 7th day I'll teach you the whole semester course of Python, basic Python. So I am very happy for today's course. So let's start. So at the very beginning, I have defined two classes. So guys, remember IEX. If the file name is preceded by I, it's of inheritance, and if it's preceded by P, then it's polymorphism. There are two folders also. Don't worry, you'll completely understand what is to take and what is not to take. So guys, today we will be having some tea. Okay, so let's start. So guys, in this program, let me zoom in. Yeah, I'm closing this part. Yeah. So I have defined two class. One class person, which has a constructor. Init is the constructor as we learned. So which has a constructor which accepts. Now constructor can accept values also. So while creating the object, we have to pass the value at that time, because the constructor is called while an instance of the class or an object of the class is created. So at that time only we have to pass the values. So I have two functions over here. One is get name, which gives us the name which we have sent, and another one is employee. Is employee is basically checking. It's a boolean function. So this function returns false for the class person, and class employee, we have class employee inherits. So guys, what is inheritance? First of all, what is inheritance? Let us first jump into this example, then I will talk about inheritance. So class employee is inheriting the class person. Def is employee, true, and it will print true for employee. So guys, let's run this and I'll show you. So stg was passed. While an object of person was created, stg was passed, and it prints stg, and is employee, we saw that is employee is false, returning false, so it's printing false. But this function, this class employee doesn't have that name where we assign name. it is present in the parent class. So it is assigning the name. How it is doing that, that's inheritance. So we will talk about it. And is employee, it's true over here, so it returns true. So now let's talk about inheritance. Inheritance is nothing but using some of the properties of your parent. When a class uses some of the properties of its parent. So what are the properties? The data members and member methods. So here the data member is name and member methods are get name. So these two methods of the person class is being inherited by class employee. So the first thing we can see that inheritance reduces the size of the code. So you write a class and you can call it for many classes, and using that property you can reduce the size of your code. So you can reuse one code multiple times. So that's the power of inheritance. And there are much more about inheritance we'll be talking, no issues. You guys wait and watch till the end of the video, you'll learn completely about inheritance, then polymorphism. Okay, sorry for that. So this is the thing. So this employee class is using the constructor where assigning the Shubhro the geek the channel name Shubhro underscore tg to the name variable, and also it is having the get name function which prints the name, and employee function is again defined over here. So this is called function overloading and overriding. This is overriding. So two class having same function with same name with same list of parameters is known as function overriding. So I have defined function overriding and I have given an example later onwards. So we'll learn more about function overriding. Okay. So this was the first example. Let's go to the second example. So again, I have defined a class person and a class employee. So the base class is known as the parent class from which the child class inherits. The parent class is also known as superclass and the child class is also known as subclass. It's a very basic example. Say for example, my father had this pen and I have inherited this pen from my father. So this is inheritance, and same concept is applied over here. I have inherited my surname from my father, so that's a property of my father, and this you can say a data member of my father which I have inherited. So class person is having a constructor which has two values, name and ID number. We are assigning name and ID number, we are displaying it. Okay. In class employee, we are having again a constructor, and this is accepting four values, name and ID number with salary and post. And in this, the data members of the parent class, the person class, was name and ID number, but the data members of employee class are salary and post. So in the constructor itself, I am calling the parent classes in the constructor, and the parent class has a data member method which we do not have any member method. So how can we call this constructor? So we have passed this object, so inheritance can be done very easily. So you define a class and we write object over here, and in place of that object, for the inherited class, the class which is calling for inheritance, in that class what we do, in place of that object we write the name of the class from which it is inheriting. So we write the parent class's name over here. So that's it, that much you write, you can inherit another class. So that simple it is. So and now this is an object. So object of which class? The person class. So object has all the data members and member methods. So I can use the data member to call the constructor of this class. So exactly the thing which I am doing. This can be done with the super variable also. I will be showing the super method. I will be showing in just a jiffy. Let's run this. Okay. So when we run this, we see that in display, what is happening? the name and ID number is being printed. Okay, that display is being called over here. So I have sent 4 values. So I have created a object of which class? Employee class, and I have sent 4 values: the name, the ID, the salary, and the position. So this only ID, name and ID is being printed by this line. So that's very easy, which we saw. Now this can be done in another way. So we write super and we give the super method and we omit this self. So guys, you saw that when I am using that object, I have to write self. So self will be gone over here. The object reference has to be gone over here. But super is a special predefined keyword. What it does, super method, what it does is it refers to the current immediate parent object. So it refers to the immediate parent object. So immediate parent of this class is person. So it refers to the person, and since it is referring to the object by itself, we do not need to pass any object like the self command. It can be done automatically. So super does not need that. So if we run this, it will show the same message, since display is printing only the name and ID. See, it is showing the same message. So for you guys, I'll clear this in front of you, yeah, and again I'll run it. So it's done. So we learned about basic inheritance and super methods. Okay, so guys, now let's talk something about, let's talk about this picture. So there are 5 types of inheritance in any programming language. In Java, we can implement only 3 type of inheritance, but with classes. In Java, we can implement other types of inheritance with interfaces, but in Python, we can implement each and every type of inheritance with classes. It's similar, completely similar to that of C++. So there are 5 types of inheritance. What are the types? Single level inheritance, multi-level inheritance, hierarchical inheritance, multiple inheritance, and hybrid inheritance. So single level inheritance is when a child class inherits some of the properties, that is, some of the data members and member methods of the parent class. So that's single level inheritance. Multi-level inheritance is the inheritance which we see in case of grandfather, parent, and child. So some of the properties of the grandfather is being inherited by my father, and some of the properties of my father are inherited by me. So that's multi-level inheritance. Then we have hierarchical inheritance. Hierarchical inheritance is, suppose my father had two offsprings, my brother and me. So say for example, when a class is being inherited by two or more than two classes, is called hierarchical inheritance. Then multiple inheritance. So say for example, father and mother has a single child. So at that place, what happens is we have multiple inheritance. So multiple inheritance, a proper definition would be to understand is when two or more than two classes are being inherited by a single base or child class. Single child class, sub or child class. Now, what is hybrid inheritance then? So we learned about the 4 types: single level, multi-level, hierarchical. Single inheritance and single level inheritance are same. So single level inheritance, then multi-level inheritance, and hierarchical, then multiple. So we learned about 4 inheritance. If we have mixture of 2 or more than 2 types of inheritance in any form, then we call it hybrid inheritance. So here you see we have hierarchical inheritance and multiple inheritance. I have shown the example over here. So you will have this image. No, don't worry for understanding. See, again I am showing it in an image. So class B inherits some properties of class A. So class A is a grandfather over here. Now this is parent and child relationship. Now this is grandfather, parent, and child. So some of the properties of grandfather is being inherited by the father, and some of the properties of father is being inherited by the grandchild. Now here we have a parent class and two subclasses. So this is hierarchical inheritance. So say for example, my father is the parent class, and my brother and me, we are inheriting some of the properties from my father. So that's hierarchical inheritance. So multiple inheritance, this is say for example the mother and this is the father. So mother and father produces a child, and some properties of mother is inherited by the child and some properties of the father is inherited by the child. So this is known as multiple inheritance. And now we have mixed two types of inheritance, two or three types. We can see all the types actually over here. So this is single level inheritance, this is single level inheritance, this is multi-level inheritance, this is again multi-level inheritance, this is hierarchical inheritance, and this is this is multiple inheritance. So when we have two or more than two types of inheritance mixed, then we say it hybrid inheritance. So let's first start with single inheritance. So this any example, the first two examples which I showed are both are single inheritance. So employee class is directly inheriting some of the properties of the person class. So employee class is inheriting some of the properties of the person class. So this is single level inheritance. In both the cases we have seen this. Now we will be directly talking to multi-level inheritance. So I have written it example 3 multi-level. So in this file you will see the definition, the types of inheritance I have described over here, and I have written a brief definition for each and every one. So you write the definition, you show the picture which I have given in the picture file, and you give the example of inheritance. That will give you enough marks, and you need like this is the basic concept which you need to know, and this is asked in each and every exam. So if you do this, like write this 5 terms with the brief explanation, give the diagram and give a small program for it. I have given small programs for each and everything, that's why I have defined in different files. So when you do that, you are done, my friend, you are done. So you get, if it carries, it generally carries 10 marks, so you get 10 marks. So that easy it is. So multi-level, I told you grandfather, parent and child. So the base is the grandfather over here. So base has one constructor which is defining a variable, and then it has another data method, a member method, get name, which prints the name. Child also, first it is calling the constructor of the first child is calling the constructor, like the parent is calling the constructor, it is getting the values of of the grandparent, and it has also the age function which returns the age. Similarly, the child is calling the father class, and the father class is calling the grandfather class, and it has address extra. So if I make an object of the grandchild class, okay, so this is the grandparent, the base is the grandparent, the child is the father or parent, and the grandchild class, if I make an object of the grandchild class, it will have all the properties of the child class, and it will also have all the properties of the grandparent class. So it will basically have the properties of grandparent, father and the child. So we do not need to create an object of multiple classes. We can create an object of single class and it will be done. So how we are inheriting? So we are writing child base is the name of the grandparent class. So this class, the father class, so I am writing over here father class. Let me write this grandfather class. Grandparent, let me do this class, and finally this is grandchild class. Okay, so it is calling the grandparent class, the child class is calling the grandparent class, just passing the base object over here, the object of the grandparent class, and the grandchild is in grandchild we are passing the object of the parent class, so that it can directly access the properties of the parent class. That's simple. So when we are creating an object of the grandchild class and passing the values of name, age and address, it is passing the value. So in child grandchild class, it is making the value address, or it is assigning the value of address to the data member of the grandchild class. Then it is passing name and age. Age is a data member of the parent class which it is assigning, and it is passing the value of name to the grandparent. And so grandparent is making is assigning the value of name to its data member. That's simple. That's as simple as it gets. So this is a very basic example of multi-level inheritance. So when I run this, it will print STG20 for Kolkata. So that's the thing. You learned multi-level inheritance in Jiffy. So we learned single level, multi-level, then we learned super keyword, then we learned how to inherit classes. So now we will be learning what the next type of inheritance. So what is the next type of inheritance after multi-level is hierarchical inheritance. So example 4 is hierarchical inheritance. Sorry for that. So hierarchical inheritance. So hierarchical inheritance, I told you, we have one parent, one class being inherited by two classes. So the parent class is being inherited by the child class and the child 2 class. So parent class, let me do this. Okay, so it won't affect, but this is a very good way of defining classes in Python. So we have function 1 in the parent class, function 2 in the child class, and in child 2 class we have function 3. So we can access this function 1 from both child class and child 2 class. So I have created an object of the child class, I have created an object of the child 2 class. So in from the object of the child class, that's the first child class, I have accessed the function 1 and that function 2 which is present in the child class, and with the object of child 2 class, I have accessed the function 1 which is present at the parent class and the function 3 which is present at the child 3 class. So it won't show an error, and this will print the same thing. Function 1, this is function 1 which is in the parent class, function 2 is present in the child class, first child class, and the function 3 is present in the third child class, second child class. So that's it, we are done. So hierarchical inheritance is done. So that easy it is. So the next one is, so we have done single level, multi-level, hierarchical. Now is multiple inheritance. So multiple inheritance is a type of inheritance which we require a lot, and it is not present in Java, but it was present in C++. So let me have a sip of tea. So we have defined one base class, we have defined another base class. So the child class is deriving both the base classes. So let me show the picture again, it will be clear. So here in multiple inheritance, we can see we have one base class. Base class is nothing but a super class is a base class. You can understand it like this. The parent class is known by three names: the parent class, the super class, the base class. The child class is known by two names: the child class, the subclass, or the third name is inherited class. So we can talk about this. So we are seeing that two base classes over here, and those two base classes are being inherited by the third class, the child class. So over here, this is parent 1, this is parent 2, and this child is accessing the properties of parent 1 and parent 2. So let's see the example. So I have defined only the constructors in the base class, and what this constructor is having. So str1 is the data member of the first base class, and it is printing in base 1. In the constructor of the second base class, what we are defining str2, which is having YouTube, and in the derived class or the child class, what is happening in the constructor, I am calling the first base class and the second base class, and I am printing in derived class. Guys, remember, don't use super over here, because super won't be able to resolve the confusion like which base class to call. So in multiple inheritance, abate from using super. but in other types of inheritance, so in multiple and hybrid, you abate from using super. So you have single inheritance, multi-level inheritance, and hierarchical inheritance. In all the things you can use super keyword, but in multiple inheritance, don't use super keyword, you'll get an error. So remember this. So I am creating an object of the derived class, and I am printing str. So str1 was in the first base class and str2 was in the second base class. Now these two properties are available with the derived class since it is inheriting the both the classes. So in multiple inheritance, what we do, we write the class generally and we pass the object of the classes. So if we pass the name of the class, it creates an object over here. So base 1 and base 2, if you have thousands of classes from which you want to inherit to a single class, you can pass thousands, any number of objects over here, and those objects will be valid for the use of this class, this derived class, complete derived class. So each and every part of this derived class can have that access. So that's the thing. In the constructor itself, I'm calling the both the base classes in a constructor, and after it is done, so I'm printing in derived class. So let's see what happens. So basically I have defined an object over here. I have created an object of the derived class, and object.print strs, this is the print strs is the function of the derived class which prints str1 and str2. So it will print what it will print, stg and youtube. So let's see, let's run this. Yeah, so in base 1 it will be calling the base 1 first, then base 2 first, then in derived class, since I am printing this in the constructor, and finally it will be printing stg and youtube. So this is the thing. So we learned about multiple inheritance also, guys. So fast we are learning, no issues. This is the most easy thing, but I don't know why everyone confuses. This is the very easy thing. Just remember this picture and you are done. Just remember this 5 pictures. You have 5 types. So you remember this 5 types, you are done. Now let's talk about multiple inheritance. Okay. Multiple we are done. Now we will be talking about hybrid inheritance. So let's talk about hybrid inheritance. Okay. So hybrid inheritance, let me change this object. So if we don't give the object, that won't create any problem, but I generally go with the basic Pythonic way. So giving an object over there is a very good way to do it. So guys, let's talk about this. So one class is being inherited by 2 classes, and this 2 classes is being inherited by the 3rd class. So we see single level inheritance over here, multi-level inheritance over here, hierarchical inheritance over here, and multiple inheritance over here. So all the types of inheritance can be done with the star diagram. Remember this star diagram, this is very important, and using this you can represent each and every type of inheritance which are present with Python, with C++. Okay. Inheritance of classes. So we are talking about inheritance of classes only. Interfaces is very advanced topic in any programming language. I'll be talking about interfaces in the advanced classes. Don't worry about that. So guys, hybrid inheritance. So we have a parent class. So again, let me show you this. This I am calling the parent class. This I am calling the child 1. This I am calling the child 2, and this I am calling the child 3. Or this I am calling child 1 and child 2, and this is the parent class. Okay, we are clear about that. So in the parent class we have this function 1 which is printing function 1. In child class, the first child class, it is inheriting the parent class. So here this scenario I'm talking about. First we created this class, now we will be creating these 2 classes. So child parent, it is inheriting the parent, and child 1 is also inheriting the parent. Okay. Now child 2 is inheriting child 1, child and child 1. Okay. Now child and child 1 is already inheriting parent. So function 1 is already present with child and child 1. Now when I am inheriting child and child 1 in child 2 by this simple command which we learn in multiple inheritance, when we are doing this, so what will happen is this function 1 will be present to both child1 and child. So in these two classes, the function1 of the parent class is already present, and in child2 class, I am calling all the properties of child and child1. So it will have the property function1, function2 from child, and function1, function3 from child1. So guys, this is, remember this, if I write parent over here again, what will happen? It will try to inherit the parent class. Now function1 is already present with this child2 class. Now if I try to do that, what will happen is it will show some name conflict error. It will cannot, it is called memory resolution object error. So what will happen, MRO error? Why it will show an MRO error? Because this function1, it won't be able to understand from which one we are trying to call the function1. Okay, the child and child1 is accessing function1, but those are accessing the same copy of function1, but I am directly accessing the original copy of function1. When I am doing that, if I try to do that, so I will have two copies of function1 at the memory, and I will be trying to access that. That will create a huge error and the program will not run. So guys, always remember, do not directly access the parent, and if you want to access the parent, so you do not access any of the, you do not access parent in any of the two classes. That can also be a way, okay? So what I have done, I have created the object of the child2 class, the very base class, this class. I have created the object of this class, and using the object of this class, I am calling all the functions. So I told you, function1 is present from child and child1 to the child2 class, and function2 is present from the child class, function3 is present from the child1 class, and function4 is present from the child2 class. So creating the object of the child2 class will suffice my need to call all the 4 functions at the same time. So let's run this and we can see that, yeah, function1, function2, function3, function4. So I'm calling all the functions and it is showing all the functions here. See. So we learned the basics of inheritance. We are done with the basics of inheritance. Now there are 2 methods in inheritance which I have talked about. Those 2 methods are used for checking the different things in inheritance. So this is one, okay, this is a function overloading. This will be coming in a jiffy. Let's first talk about this. Yeah. So there are 2 ways in which you can do function overloading. That is using the super keyword or using the class name only. So guys, what is function overriding? Not overloading. Sorry for that. It's function overriding. So what is function overriding? Say for example, you have the same, for the parent class and the child class, you have the same method with the same name and same list of parameters. So while you are instantiating the child class and you are calling that method, it won't understand which method to call. Okay, you understand, like I have 2 copies of method 1 with me, like one for the child class, one for the parent class, and now I don't know which method I need to call, method 1, which method 1 I need to call. Since I have created the object of the child class, I will generally call this method 1, but I need to call the method of the parent class. So how will I do that? So that is called overriding. This, so we are defining the function. Now this definition of function is being overridden by the definition of the function written in the parent class is being overridden by the definition of the function written by the child class. So this is a thing which we do not need. So let's check the very basic example. In the base class, we have the constructor which is initializing the variable constant 1, and it is printing method of class A, method 1 of class A. And in this B class, we are defining the constructor with the constant value 2. Now self.calling, we are calling this function. Why? We need to resolute, like we are calling this method first, then we are calling the method of this class with this function. self dot calling a dot init self. So it will call the constructor of the base class. It will call this, and constant one will be initialized, and after that what will happen, it will just print the method one from this class, and it will print the method one from the parent class. See, self dot method one, self is the object of this class B class, and it will call the method one of this class, and a dot method one, which will call the method of the parent class, since the name of the parent class is A. So this is a very okay, this is a way we can do it, but we generally do it using super keywords, which I have shown in the next method with the two functions or with the two methods of inheritance which are related to inheritance. I have shown them. So see, method of class B. So when I have created, I am first calling this constructor of the child class is first calling this calling method, and this calling method is first calling the method one of this class, and then it is calling a dot method one self. We are passing the object of the same class, so we need to pass an object. As I told you, this self will be passing the a object of a only. That's a way we need to do. Like basically, when I taught you about class, you can visit my class tutorial. I'll link it in the I button over here. I button will be over here. Yeah, over here. The I button will be there, so you can see it over there. And this is the way. This is the way we do it. And you can visit my the example from the class tutorial, the class video. So you will be completely understanding. So this can be done much easier way with the super keyword. Let's go for the super keyword. So again, I have defined three classes: class A, class B, and class C. So I have defined a multi-level inheritance over here. Now function 1 is the function of the class A, and syntax. So function 1 is again a method of the class B class, and it is calling super B comma self B comma object of B dot function 1. It will call this function. So super B is now the class. Now this class, when I am creating an object, this will have an object of A, and when I am calling the object with the object class object, it will directly refer to the class object of the previous class with the super. I just told you that super references to the immediate parent class. So immediate parent class of which class? B, and which object? Self object. Immediate parent class of B and self object will be A. It will call the A's function 1. Similarly, I have done it for C. So I have shown you with what? Two multi-level inheritance. I have shown you how to use super. So guys, remember I have given the syntax over here. So how to use a super word, super function. So you write super, the class name, the present class name, from which you want to call to the parent class or the immediate parent class you want to call, and its instance of the class. Instance of class. Okay. So its instance dot overridden method name. Just overridden method name I'm calling. It will call the method of this class. Just previous class, just inherited class. So this is the most valuable way, and this is the way we are the coders in any perspective code. So this is the way, and there are two methods of which I was talking. So let's run this, and then I'll talk about the two methods. So see, first the class C is being called, since I am creating the object of the class C. Then it is calling B, and B is calling A. So C is printed, B is printed, and A is printed. Now, what are the two methods related to inheritance? Okay, there are two methods: isInstance or isSubclass. IsInstance, what does isInstance checks? IsInstance checks whether an object is an instance of the class. So this J is the object of class C. We need, say for example, at certain point we need to check is this object instance of class C. So we can directly do that with isInstance method. It's a Boolean method. It returns either true or false. So if J is an object of class C, it will return true. If it's not, it will return false. So is subclass is another property. So if is subclass checks whether a class is a child class of a parent class. So this is the child class which I am passing, and this is the parent class. So B is being inherited from A. So B is the subclass of A. So we are checking that using is subclass. So both the things will return true. Now I told you, say for example, if I need to change this to B, is J an object of B? So this is the concept which I was talking about. This is the very basic concept. B is inheriting class A. So all the properties and all the objects, all the properties of A is being inherited by B, and B is being inherited by C. So C has all the properties of B as well as all the properties of A, since A was inherited by B. Now when I am checking is instance J, so J will have all the values of B and A. So J is directly an instance of B and A. So using this, we can see that it will print true for each and every case. So guys, now let's move on to polymorphism. So closing this inheritance, now let's move on to polymorphism. So polymorphism is comprised of two words, poly and morph. Poly means many, morph means forms. So many forms, it is derived from the Greek word poly and morph, the two Greek words. So many forms, if something shows many forms, then we can say it is polymorphism. So this len function, which is a predefined function in Python, it generally shows polymorphism. So how? So using length function, what we can do, using length function, we can find the length of a string, length of a list, and length of a dictionary. So when we find the length of a string, it will give the length of the string, how many characters are there in a string. Len of a list, it will give the number of items present inside the list, and len of a dictionary, it will print the number of keys present inside the dictionary. So in dictionary, we know we have keys and values. So number of keys we have inside a dictionary. So guys, I have shown the len the length of this string using len. Now we can check the number of integers or number of elements inside this list using len. And dictionary we can also do, but I haven't done. It's generally like doing a thing over and over again. So it will check the length of the string. This len function will check the length of the string, and it will also check the length of the list. Basically, it checks the length of the anything present inside an object. This len function. And I have defined another function over here, add. So how I can overload a user defined function, UCR define. So how we can overload a user defined function? So I have defined add. Now I am passing two parameters, 2 and 3. When I am passing two parameters, it will take z as 0. Z is the variable z, or z is the variable which is initialized 0. So if I don't pass any value, it will take as 0. This I talked in the functions class. I will link that function class over here, also in the I button over at the top. And add, first time we are sending two variables, so it will this is called default function. So you will see in the function class, which I'll be linking over here. So in the first case I am passing two variables, it will add those two variables and it will return or print the value. In the second case I am passing three variables. So let's see. So basically for two variables it is adding, it is for three variables it is adding. So it is basically overloading. So we are overloading the function add to add two or three, or for advanced thing you can try this out. You can add n number of variables. So you can define a function in such a way that you can add n number of variables. So we can do that. I think I will be showing it in the advanced classes. So guys, let's run this. Yeah. So what is the length of this Shubhro the Geek? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 characters are there, so it is printing 14. And now what is the len of this 3 element list is 3. So what is 4? 2 plus 3 is 5, and 2 plus 3 plus 4 is 9. So it is doing the exact same thing which I just talked about. Now let's close this and let's move on to the next example. Okay, so what we have done is function overloading or function overriding over here using two different classes. Okay, so I have defined a class tomato and I have defined a class apple. So tomato is a type of fruit vegetable. What type of fruit is tomato? What type is tomato? Vegetable. And what is the color of tomato? Red. Defined type, apple is a fruit, and let's change this to cucumber because tomato is a fruit, remember that. And cucumber is a vegetable. And apple is a type fruit and color is red. So def function object, what I am doing, I'm just passing an object in this function def, which will call this type and color functions of both the classes. So this is function overriding, this is function overriding, this is a type of polymorphism, and this can be generally seen using in inheritance. So I have given one example of inheritance also in the next example only. So this is one type of function overriding. Say we have two classes having the same function name and same list of parameters. So still we are overriding it. So I am creating object tomato. This you can say polymorphism function overriding. Not overriding, this is overloading only, because I am using two different objects to call two different functions. So that's complete distinguishable. But when I am creating a single object and calling all the functions of parent class and the child class, so at that time it's overriding. So this is a classic example of overloading, and in inheritance we see overriding. So remember, overriding is only done in case of inheritance, and overloading can be done in anywhere. So if we run this, it will first show that okay, let's change this again. So when here I am creating the object of the class cucumber, here I am creating the object of the class apple, and using the object of the class cucumber I am passing it to this function which is accepting this object, and it is calling the function type and function color of that object. So I have done this for 2 times for both the classes. So this is function overloading. So vegetable red, fruit red. So this is the thing we learned. This is function overloading. Let me write this for you guys. Function overloading. Okay, so I've saved this. Yeah. Now let's move on to the next example. So guys, this is another example. It's the same thing I have done using two countries like India and USA. So in India, what is the capital of India, and what is the national language of India, and for USA I have done the same thing, capital and uh, the main language, the national language. So I've created both the objects. This is completely analogous to the last example which I just have shown just now. So I have created a for loop instead of that function. So in this for loop I am passing these two objects. So first country will be object of India, and it will print New Delhi and language is Hindi, and then it will the object will be of USA, and it will print Washington DC, and the language will be English. So if we run this, yeah, this was another example. Now the last example, okay. So the last example is in which we have done the function overloading. So let me add this object overriding CTION over. So this is function overriding. So we have this base class as bird. Now this base class has two functions. One is intro. There are different types of birds, and this flight is a function which is defined in the base class, the child class, and another child class. So this is hierarchical inheritance which we just learned in inheritance. So over here this flight is being overridden in each and every case. So what will happen, this flight will be changed. This flight will be changed when I'm calling with the parrot function. So I told you I have two instances of the same method. Now when I'm creating the object of the child class and calling the function, that will always call the function of the child class and not of the parent class. That's a very basic thing which we need to remember. And so I have created the three objects of the bird class, of the parrot class, and of the penguin class, the first child, the second child class, and using it I am calling the functions. So we can do this in for loop, but I have done it over here like this. So this is function overriding. So see, most birds can fly, but some cannot. There are different types of birds. Okay, so I have intro and I have flight. So this flight for the bird object is printing this. Now the very basic thing, the parrot class doesn't have intro. It is getting that intro function from the parent class, the bird class. Now it is printing the same thing using the parent class. Now after it is done printing the same thing using the parent class, it is calling the flight class. So when I am calling the object of the parrot class object and the method flight from the object of parrot class or from the penguin class, it is calling its own method, the flight method, which is present inside it. So that this flight method of the bird class from whom it has inherited, this flight method's definition is rewritten inside this parrot class or penguin class. So guys, that's it. So guys, that's the thing we learned about function overriding, overloading. We learned each and everything of basic polymorphism. Now this is the amount of polymorphism which we all be needing. Let me move to the camera transition. Yeah. So guys, this is the amount of polymorphism which we all be needing, and nothing much more than this. So I think after these 7 classes, if you have followed each and every minute nook and cranny of, and I have put each and everything in such a way, such a manner that you can understand. So if you have followed me with these 7 classes, then I think you can be coding in Python properly and in a lot of pace. No worries about that. I am sure about that, guys. And as always, I tell you, if you have any query, please do comment, and please follow me on my social media handles, so that if you have any personal query, I can directly address you over there with any programming related issues, be it Python, Java, MATLAB, anything. So that's the thing. And guys, sorry for posting this one day late, because you can see my right eye is swollen, like something bit me on the right eye and it's swollen. I couldn't see last day. So that's the thing, and my liver, that ailment is also happening and all. That's why I'm posting a bit late. Guys, I have few announcements which I'll be doing on the Friday. So what are the plans of the channel? Guys, if you are like I am planning on some review videos, unboxing and review videos. So if you are a tech geek and if you want some unboxing and review videos and you want like complete raw fact after using 3 to 4 months, something which I am using 3 to 4 months. So if you want that, then I can we can talk about it in our I can talk about it. So guys, please comment about it, no issues. And thank you for supporting. Please share it with your friends. Please make my channel reach to your friends. Please uh, make my content reach to as many people as you can. And I make this kind of content so that you can see like how much effort I put in making this kind of content. And your support is the main thing which I require. If I get your support, then the quality of the content will increase. Like I don't have a proper setup. I need to have a proper setup that I will be doing when you provide me with much support, like you have been doing. And if you provide much more support than which you are doing, then my quality and the things which I will be doing will change a lot. So that's the thing, guys. Please do subscribe to my channel. Please hit the bell notification icon so that you get notified each and every time I post a new video. Please like my videos. Please share them among with your friends so that my content reaches to all of your friends, guys. So I am quite confident that after the 7 videos on Python, you can code enough Python like a basic Python programmer. So if you have any questions, please do comment. Please follow me on my social media handles. And guys, if you want reviews and all, please do comment about that also. If you like some reviews and all. And how do you like my content? Please do comment. That's all for today, if I'm not mistaken. And there's some things which I wanted to discuss also. The things pertaining to this channel, the things which I want to improve uh, with this channel actually. But as you can see on my vlog video, which I was the first vlog video which I posted on this Sunday, the last Sunday. So on this video, I told you can see me holding the camera and moving around. So I don't have a proper gear. What happened is I use this phone, and now I was on my terrace, and what happened is after 10 minutes the phone got heated up and the phone got switched off. So after 9 tries, I could record that part of the video, that much video, and I posted it for you guys. So guys, please support me. That's the thing which I am talking each and every time. Please support me more so that I can make this content, this amount of content for you guys freely. So again, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. Please hit the bell notification icon so that you get notified each and every time I post a new video. And please share it with your friends. Please like it. That's the amount of support which I require from you now, so that I can reach 1,000 subscribers and the basic norms of YouTube very fast and as soon as possible. So that's the thing which I was talking about. And for now, it was your host Shubro the Geek. For now, it was your host Shubro. You are watching Shubro the Geek. Thank you for bearing with me. Thank you for supporting me. Please support me in future also. And the codes are as always listed below in the GitHub page. Thank you. You are watching Shubro the Geek. I am Shubro signing off. Bye bye.